Hey, it's Spence from LaunchFlows.com. I got a great question today from Matt, who is asking me what are the fundamental differences these days between CartFlows and LaunchFlows. And I haven't had to address this in a while since I created the product, so I thought I'd bring people up to speed. Over the last couple months, we've really found that the niche of LaunchFlows is as part of the stack that allows you to build any kind of membership or e-commerce or other marketing automation solution. Because it works so tightly with WooCommerce and does not fundamentally change WooCommerce's checkout behavior mechanism, unlike CartFlows, it allows you to do things that are in continuity with all the plugins that work with WooCommerce. CartFlows made a fundamental mistake in the early days, and I was working with them at the time to try to help remedy it, that they made a decision that they were going to inject their own set of custom post types, which are flows and steps. And in doing so, they decided as well that they were going to hijack the checkout process so that essentially you're no longer really doing a normal WooCommerce checkout. You're doing a custom checkout that is all controlled through their code. But that has consequences. Number one is that the things that typically follow a checkout don't happen. In the regular sense, that could be things like either plugins that work with WooCommerce post-checkout, affiliate type of things like affiliate WP, or even just the basic way that they do the upsell mechanism. Instead of having a regular checkout of a product and then being able to buy another product, both of them being a checkout, instead what happens is they just authorize a transaction, hold that for 30 minutes, and then only after you're done 30 minutes later do those things get rung through. Well, that delay has consequences. On the other hand, with LaunchFlows, we decided to keep everything 100% stock WooCommerce. We simply do two core differences. We amplify the capabilities of the checkout components themselves or of the products so they'll behave the way you need them to. Second of all, we integrate tightly with your favorite page builder, but recommend using Elementor to design completely custom checkout experiences themselves. That is to say, instead of sticking in just a stock, WooCommerce checkout form inside of a pretty skin, we actually let you drag and drop the kind of experiences you want. And the best way to see this is you can, first of all, go to LaunchFlows and go to the webinar tab. And the actual stack of things that work so tightly is part of my participation over at WP Fusion as well. I've amplified it here inside of a webinar where I've got the video and the stack. But if you scroll down, you'll see that for most people, using LaunchFlows is part of this experience of having a WordPress solution for your page builder, WooCommerce, LaunchFlows, your favorite LMS, and WP Fusion, working with your favorite CRM, allowing you to have all these custom checkout experiences. But along the way, the tags and the marketing automation work as part of a system, all balanced out, everything doing its own job. Whereas with CartFlows, you actually take away from this a bit because CartFlows requires you to build all kinds of extra stuff. This stack of stuff when you're using LaunchFlows is very inexpensive. It does not require you to have premium other plugins unless you want. And more importantly is it doesn't leave you with a sort of, how am I going to fix this new problem that's been created? All right, so let me show you the examples of how this works. Inside, by the way, of LaunchFlows itself, I encourage everybody to use the free 7-day trial where you can sign up and get yourself exactly the thing I'm going to show you, which is this free demo. You can do the front and the back. So let's talk about the different types of layouts you can do, and then I'm going to show you the back end of this. If we look at example 4, this is the typical kind of course I'm selling a membership thing. Here we've just designed a really simple checkout where the product is being offered, and this could be the product itself from WooCommerce, or it could be an Elementor unique design. When you send it to the checkout, we get the opportunity here to just make it look and feel like we want. You can complete the payment, and more importantly, we give you a lot of custom functions. These functions, again, amplify what you can do. For example, being able to automatically save the credit card if you wish, being able to offer dynamic discounts, being able to have, as you'll see in a moment, pay any amount or donate any amount. Those functions are also built into the drag and drop capability. Here we make a payment, and you're able to have a custom thank you page. This is not a skin with the normal WooCommerce stuff. This is a legitimate, your own design. We give you the capability of showing what was in the last order, visiting your account dashboard, or even taking them right to the course itself with Lifter, LMS, or LearnDash. Example 3 is sort of your typical step-by-step. I like to call this my marketing sales funnel because this checkout experience keeps somebody locked into what you want them to see. Here's the first product. This could be free or paid, so it could be a lead magnet or it could be a tripwire. Here we're getting the most important stuff. We're getting their first name, last name, email. We give you the capability out of the box to automatically turn any WooCommerce checkout into a form where any of the custom fields you want to add can be collecting data about the user or about the order. Just like before, we can click and they are immediately registered and logged into the system. Now that's important because what I just did there was not only giving them the first product, but it also registered and logged them into WooCommerce and WordPress. It also synchronized them automatically up to their CRM, and it gave them a tag that lets me identify what they just bought. Here I'm giving them an immediate instant upsell. This is designed simple with any kind of element or component you want. If I say yes or no, it doesn't matter. I take them to the next step. You'll notice though that it's one-click checkout. At this point, I don't need to ask them again for their first name or email or for their credit card because I've already saved that. Here they get taken to the thank you for what they decided to buy, and now I'm able to give them a post-checkout offer. Maybe they want to buy this extra item. And just like before, one-click checkout. The thing that's really cool here is that you don't have to do anything to build this out. Instead of building an entirely etched into concrete sort of step-by-step flow for everything you want to sell, LaunchFlows just makes you use the products that are already there, and you daisy chain them together with whatever things you want to come before and after. So here we finish it up with a thank you. Here's example 2. This is a neat one where you might want to do bundle offers, right? Maybe you're selling 4 bottles of wine or 4 things of fruit for 18 bucks. Now people can add their unique items in. You'll notice too that when they add the unique items in, we have a feature that allows the free products to not say 0000. Instead, they just say things like included. And because I can design this layout, I got a clever little thing where I've moved the first part of the checkout here with the floating checkout bar, or order review, I mean. It allows me to float on down to the bottom, complete the transaction. And now the first one is a example of how you can use some of the custom functions. Many of our clients have a donation or a pay me now feature that they need to implement. And it's not a complicated one. They just want to be able to have people paying them any amount of money for either their 501c3 charity or maybe as a freelancer. So here I'm able to say I want to pay 1234.55, and that takes the same basic one product, allows you to pay me that amount. I can also have custom fields, as I mentioned, as well as these custom going before from one tab to the other kind of action. So here if I wanted to add in honor of mom, this allows me to take this data, save it with the order, go on to the payment, and then like before go on to the thank you. Now I can use a global checkout or any number of completely unique checkouts. All of them can be saved as Elementor templates. I can also go ahead and do this for the thank you pages, but I can also do them as globals. That is to say that I can have one checkout, one thank you, but the details that show up or the next step links are unique based upon which product somebody bought. Now how does this work on the back end? Well, LaunchFlows is definitely unique from CartFlows in that regard. What happens here, as I mentioned, is we don't make you go to all the steps of building custom flows with step-by-step locked in. Instead, you'll notice there's just products, and then there's just the pages and templates. Let's look at the products. We give superpowers to the products. So if we look at, let's say, this course product, LaunchFlows does a couple key things. First of all, each product gets its own direct checkout link. This is encoded with all the DNA of what you've just programmed in to make it behave the way you want it to behave. This link can be used on your website or on any outside social site like Facebook or Instagram for marketing purposes. So when you take that link with the DNA you've programmed in, it will always act in the way you want it. So here, if that was an ad in Facebook, you'll notice, boom, it takes that product, sends it across the internet to this custom layout that I've intended it to go to. How do we set it up? Real easy. Unlike CartFlows, LaunchFlows does not break all the custom product types that are available from WooCommerce. You'll notice that they're very, very, very specific, and there's lots of complaints in their Facebook group about you can't do certain types of subscription products in an upsell, or you can't use PayPal or this gateway or that gateway, or you can't use it with the affiliate product. No such problems here. So in this case, I have a simple virtual product. I've set a price of 50 bucks. Now down here with LaunchFlows, I've told it that I want to use a specific checkout page of my own design. I want to use the thank you page of my design. I also want a button on that thank you page that will take a person who buys this product to this particular course. So I can use this short code now in that button so that regardless of which product I buy, the button will be smart enough to send it to the appropriate product that was just purchased. There's a bunch of other features here too, like instant lead magnet. That means you can create a product that's for free and use it instead of using Elementor forms or Gravity forms or any other mechanism to onboard users into your system, both WordPress as well as your CRM. Solo checkout. This is when you want a product to be exclusively bought by itself. So if you give a product a solo checkout designation and then you send it to the cart where something else is in the cart, it'll kick everything else out. And vice versa. If it's in the cart and something else comes along, it'll get out of the way. Really great for upsells. Instant sales page is the way to take this particular product and reuse the actual page itself here from the product. Why make a whole nother step in a flow just to advertise and market the qualities of this product? Instead, what we did is just use the page itself and with Elementor made it into its own sales page. You can do instant branding, which allows you to give a product information about any of your partners and then include it in a checkout so that you can have a custom checkout that looks like it's for your partner. Great way to share revenue and do other things. And then hiding free price I showed you in that bundle, that allows you a quick function and way to go ahead and have, let's say, a basket full of items you can add, but the items are all for free. Instead of saying 0.00, they just say included or whatever other term you want to use. Now also with WP Fusion, we work hand in hand because now we can give a tag that allows us to identify for marketing automation which product was just bought. Now what do we do for the layouts? Well, we go over here to pages, and any post type, whether it's a page or a post or even lessons inside of a LearnDash or Lifter, can be used as checkouts. Here I created a series of example 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say if I go to example 2, all I need to do is create an ordinary checkout page. If we edit this, you'll see that all I'm doing is a regular WordPress page and I'm adding the normal WooCommerce checkout shortcode. Here with my LaunchFlows checkout element, it gives me the steps. Step 1, copy this shortcode, paste it here. Cool. Step 2, let's create a custom wrapper, a custom layout to put around this default checkout to give it the appearance I want. So here I can either add new, or in this case I've already chosen one. I'm going to edit the one I've chosen. And this is the one I showed you a moment ago. Here I'm using Elementor's main components in the form of buttons and images and layouts and so forth, the pulsing animation. All the design components are up to me. You cannot do this with CartFlows. CartFlows just gives you a skin and then an infinite array of complex drop downs and checkboxes and all these things to modify what's already part of that default thing, which is crazy. Here, if you want to modify any of the checkout components, you'll notice, like here and here, all I need to do is use one of the two LaunchFlows widgets. I grab the LaunchFlows component I wish, let's say it's this one here, I drag it over wherever I want it, and then I choose which part of the checkout from WooCommerce should this be. The billing or the payment or the login or the coupon or the empty field, or should it be some of the special functions that, auto click checkout, lead cookie, saving the credit card information, solo, whatever. So all I need to do is just choose what this should be, and it instantly becomes that component. And I can always drag it around and move it anywhere else in the layout and use it in conjunction with other stuff, or I can just delete it. So easy as that. Now the neat thing here too is that I can use marketing automation as well. So with WP Fusion and LaunchFlows, let's say if I previously purchased a course or a lesson or a product, I can take these items and identify them with the tags that you get when you buy it. So let's say with the juicy grapes, I previously would have bought it and gotten a tag called Spencer. Okay? In this case, the rule is saying, do not show this if you've already got the tag of Spencer, which would mean that for the same checkout arrangement, I could show somebody maybe 6, 10, 12 items. The only things that would display would be the ones that they don't already have. Super convenient and very powerful. And then finally, you can see I'm able to move the things for WooCommerce like the returning customer login notice, the billing name, checkout fields, the payment fields. I can even create custom checkout buttons. Finally, we got the second LaunchFlows component, which is our Style Manager. And that allows us a very fast and easy way to memorialize all the custom settings for this particular checkout, the style of all the elements and so forth, so that when I want, I can save this whole thing as a complete template. That way I can save it, share it, sell it, or reuse it without having to go ahead and configure it again. That means that if you're into that kind of thing for yourself or clients, you can make any number of checkout pages one time and then just simply store them in your library or share them with the normal export-import method of Elementor. Super simple. No need to browse through a bunch of skins and other crazy stuff because Elementor already has everything you'd ever need in its own library, or use other Elementor components, or just drag and drop the stuff you want and save it one time. Okay. So all of this works together in a way that doesn't modify anything or change the fact that if you go on the back end, you'll notice all we got are products, pages, and then our template library of saved layouts that we just talked about. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, very flexible. As I mentioned, if you go over here to LaunchFlows.com and you go into our webinar tab, there is a 25% discount that is available, so the cost of the products is just $225. We have unlimited use, so you can use this on an unlimited number of sites for yourself or your clients. If you have clients, we highly suggest that you give them the setup and then ask them to go buy their own license, because we also have an affiliate program where we offer 25% to you instead. Works, again, as I say, tightly with the stack of all the things that you would expect, plus every single one, almost without exception, of all the WooCommerce plugins and gateways. So that's a kind of long, quick rundown, but hopefully it's been comprehensive. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at help@launchflows.com. As I say, you got nothing to really risk by trying it, so give it a shot, or at least try the demo here and see for yourself. And you can export all the things you play with, use them on your own site. I'll talk to you soon.